Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills with troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about magic and let's start with the definition.
Magic is something which could not be explained. For example, we have religion, we have science. Religion is what will be described in some saint's book. Nature or science each would be described in some scientific books. But something we could not explain would be magic. For example, some people think that witches could fly on their, how to say it, mop?
Broom.
On the broom, yes, thank you. On the broom. Or, for example, they could convert people to the stone or something like this. For example, when we will read Greek myths, we will find a lot of different conversions of people, of things, of everything in everything. And this would be a magic.
And if we actually, like look into the world, probably, in a different cultures, in a different, I would say even period of times, there is a different classification of what, like could be considered as a magic. And I'm not speaking about, like black or white, but like in general, it could be, like something that was produced by nature. So it should be some sort of like a miracles, maybe something that was produced by other people towards other people, or maybe, like something which is completely out of this world, let's say, like teleportation or, like different dimensions. So if we try to look and maybe like a map the magic, what kind of dimensions or segments or, okay, let's say clusters might be there?
Okay, let's divide world for several segments. First, it would be science. By the way, teleportation right now would go to the science because in 2006, I was attending a scientific conference where it was research about teleportation. Some small parts of essence, it's okay to say вещество, essence,
Essence
material,
or matter?
or matter, what was transferred. By the way, you know how it works? For example, Maxim Golub want to be teleported somewhere else. You know, your body would completely and forever destroyed on the point you standing off, and then it would be reconstructed almost identical in another way. So it's not about just teleportation of your ideas and thoughts. It also about total destroying and construction of your body. So maybe in the future people would make teleportation just to restore some joints or maybe some legs, heads, and something like this. Okay, then we will go to something which is quasi-science or parascience. It would be like telekinesis. It would be like homeopathy and so on. This is what not stated, not доказанный,
Not proved.
not proved. For example, who knows? Maybe we'll have some biological interference. Maybe we will have some magnetic resonance. Maybe there is another some stuff which used by astrologists or people who make guessing. Гадание. It's okay to say guessing.
Or foretelling.
Or foretelling, yes, it's much better foretelling. Then it would be like religion, and it's about miracles which was created by holy gods, by titans, by some heroes, and so on. And then it will have some miracles which are on the cutting edge between science, between religious and magic. But usually miracles will created by someone who is far away and we are not interested to this substance. For example, omnipotent God, if he will make a miracle, he usually not thinking about special person or special city. So, for example, when the God creating the flood, the greatest flood, how to say, великий потоп,
The greatest flood.
the greatest flood, he was not thinking about some specific people. He was thinking about all people, all civilization, which is floating in the scene. Then we'll have magic. Magic is usually created by some person against others or in behalf of others. For example, to summon the rain, or for example, to summon, I don't know how to say, sarancha.
Mm,
How
Probably cockroaches, but I do believe there is like a different word for that.
grasshoppers which eats
Grasshoppers also could be good.
eats everything on their ways.
And when I was also thinking about, like what kind of questions to ask for this question, I was trying to, okay, maybe I will look at it not really from, like I would say casual perspective, but let's say maybe taking maybe, like even management perspective. So it seems that, like magic was created to address unaddressable things in whatever dimensions. And maybe also, like looking at how humanity develops is have to, like a backlog of things to, like to be put into the I would say the actual word. Like for example, if you look our at our phone, actually it's a magic. There is a it works without anything. You can see people, you can actually transfer, you can teleport anything. That means like what was in the backlog was developed and like was put in the science. And maybe from another thing is to fill in the void. Like for example, when thunder hits the tree, you probably need some sort of like explanation who did or what did that. For sure, it could be religion, or it could be someone who did that. That means that like there is a way to explain unexplained, so it's actually could reduce the uncertainty of the humanity. And maybe the third part is also like entertaining, or well, let's say like a brainwashing. Let's say I'm an ancient king and I just want to like to tell people that, hey, I actually can like use some powder, but actually it's a god's power, so please like obey, please do whatever I say. So what might be, I would say, the job that magic was hired for by humanity?
First, it's entertainment. For example, if you go to Luna Parks, I don't know, is it okay to say Luna Parks?
Or amusement park?
Amusement parks, yes, you will meet a lot of different tricks which is made with optical illusions or with mechanical aids or some mechanism which will lift something very fast or something like this. Do you remember this David Copperfield? He was even trying to disappear of statue of liberty in New York. How this was done? He was putting people on the special platform, and then he was saying, come on, we will put flashlights on this statue, and people suddenly will see the lightning statue which is visible and clear. Then these flashlights would switch off and there would be some talking and so on, and during this speech this platform will rotate a bit and the same flashlights would be then switched on, but they will show just nothing but emptiness, because with some small angles like 3 to 5 degree it is enough that this huge statue will be out of the sight of this light. So with help of such equipment, you could make disappear even an elephant or maybe even a huge building. Then there are a lot of different magic, for example, how to cut people in half with this saw, or maybe was a Houdini who was trying to take his arm bended with some lock, and then he would jump into the aquarium or even to be put in safe and then will be thrown into the river and then he will be freed. But if you are an engineer, you will understand that it is much easier to get out from the safe because there is no protection, but outside it is protected well.
And maybe if we look at it also from a different point of view, because I'm actually trying to avoid like probably like a casual questions like whether it's real or not. Let's say, like at certain point of time, we might be solving specific problems and, like approaching to them with a specific skill set. So for other people, it might be seem that, like apparently nothing happens and then out of nothing appeared something. Or maybe, like there was so much effort which involves, let's say, like talking to different people, like solving different problems, addressing a different code or whatever, so that for again for the normal person or just like someone who is not probably not like putting this amount of effort, let's say it's our relatives or whatever, it seems that like it really happens out of like a click of the finger, and it could be magic. But if you look and the from the magician point of view, so what exactly you need to do, think, and maybe predict in order to actually be a magician for someone else, whether it's business or whether it's your colleagues or whether it's your loved ones?
There are several ways how to do magic. First is to make an illusions. For example, you could make something from nothing. There is an ancient trick which was used in tribes and in some, I don't know how to say, кочевники, nomads, in
Nomads.
nomads. In nomads, they would use to collect special grass and then put all together to create small small and light ball. But when, for example, you will try to make it from the sleeve and in simultaneously you will burn it out, it will create a very huge bump of the fire and it will look like you're throwing like a light ball. It's okay to say light ball?
Light bulb,
Молния.
yes, or fireball, light bulb.
Of fireballs somewhere, and then it would disappear because the grass is very dry and nothing will remain. Or, for example, you would use something like hidden mechanism in the earth, in the ground, or in your sleeve, or in your shoes, and then you will able to climb very fast on the tree with help of some needles or with help some hooks, and then they would be disappear, or you will throw them away, and no one would notice. Or, for example, there are also some tricks which could be after huge amount of exercises. I don't know how to say it in English, but in Russian it's called like чревовещатели, talking from the stomach maybe.
Stomach speakers or something like that.
Stomach speakers. For example, you will have a doll, and then you will speak, but your mouth will be closed and your face would become, but everyone would think that this doll is talking, but it is was produced by you. You after some rehearsal could do this, and also a lot of different illusions. For example, my favorite one, when person trying to play as two, for example, with legs and doll head as woman, and with for example arms and doll head as man. So one person is dancing by legs and arms, but it's looking like a dance of two person, and suddenly one of those person will disappear, especially which was played by the hand, because the dress would cover it. Or for example, maybe if you have been to China, you have seen very fast moving faces when person would make something like movements by the head, and at this point small piece of silk will hide away, or some girl would use a lot of dress which a thin one, they will dress one after another, and then they use some special, I don't know to say, petli,
Loops.
loops to close these dresses, and for example 5 or 10 times you will see how it goes. Or maybe people will use some special kind of pockets in the jacket, for example, to show pigeons. By the way, our cycle is also about pigeon, but pigeon of peace.
Well, yeah, definitely world is full of crafty people. And then my last question will be how knowing about magic could actually help to make this world a better place.
I would tell two sentences which I like a lot. First, any developed technology seems to be as a magic. This is one of the Isaac Asimov's law. And second, if you never learn chemistry and physics in the school, everything for you would be magic. For example, several days ago, my wife asked me to do some home job, and he was unable. And when I was trying to find some medicine and some other stuff to create some, I don't know how to say, раствор,
Distillate.
some distillate, and I would cover some surface. She asked me, "What are you doing? You have read this in internet?" And then I show her, "Okay, you could read the instruction, and there is what is inside of this peel of this liquid and something like this. I need to make like this, so I should make like this. So I have some small part of the rust. It's okay, ржавчина, rust."
Rust.
Rust on the window, and then everything was, I don't know how to say, going with bubbles, and we could see just clean surface without any rust.
Well, and we review the skill of magic and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.